Today I am going to demonstrate a simple and a interesting experiment on capillary action, which is an important concept in the pharmaceutics and the drug delivery systems. The title of my experiment is a study of the capillary action using a tissue paper and a colored water. Aim. The main aim of this experiment is to demonstrate the capillary actions and understand how liquids move through narrow spaces without the help of the external force. Materials required. For this experiment, I have two transparent glasses, water, food color, tissue paper or a paper towel, a spoon for mixing. So these materials are simple and easily available at home. Principle. So before performing the experiment, let us understand the principle involved. So the capillary action is the movement of the liquid through the narrow spaces against the gravity here. So this occurs because of two forces. Adhesion. Adhesion is the attraction between the water molecules on the surface of the tissue paper. Cohesion. Cohesion is the attraction among the water molecules themselves. So when these two forces work together, the water can move upwards through tiny pores present in the tissue paper here. So this phenomena is called the capillary action. So let us see the procedure. Now let's perform the experiment step by step. I have taken two transparent glasses here. One glass is filled with water. I add a few drops of food color to the water and mix it properly. Now we have colored water that can be easily absorbed. So the second glass is kept empty here. Next, I take a strip of tissue paper and fold it into a long strip. One end of the tissue paper is placed inside the colored water and the other end is placed inside the empty glass. Now I leave the setup undisturbed and observe carefully. Observation. Initially, the tissue paper starts absorbing the colored water. So after a few moments, the colored water begins moving upwards through the tissue paper. Gradually, the color travels along the entire length of the paper here. So after some times, the colored water reaches the empty glass. The empty glass slowly starts receiving the colored water. So this movement occurs without stirring, pumping or applying any external force. So why does this happen? So the tissue paper contains the thousands of the tiny pores that behave like a narrow capillary tubes. So water molecules are attracted to the cellulose fiber present in the tissue paper. This attraction is called adhesion. As some water molecules move upward, they pull neighboring water molecules with them because of cohesion. So as a result, the water continues moving through the paper against gravity. So this process continues until sufficient water reaches the second glass. Thus, the movement of the water through the tissue paper demonstrates the capillary action. Capillary action is governed by the balance between the adhesive and the cohesive forces. If adhesive forces are stronger than the cohesive forces, the liquid climbs upward through the narrow spaces. The smaller the pore size, the greater the capillary rise. So this principle is observed in nature as well. For example, water rises from the roots to the leaves in a plant. So ink moves to the tip of the fountain pen. Towels absorb water quickly. So blotting paper absorbs the excess ink. So all these processes occur because of the capillary action. So capillary action has many important applications in pharmacy. Like in paper chromatography, use capillary action to separate the drugs and the chemicals, and the water enters tablets through capillary pores, helping them disintegrate and dissolve. In wound dressings, that the medical dressing absorb the wound fluids through capillary action. Diagnostic test strips, so pregnancy test kits and glucose strips use capillary flow to transport the biological samples. So drug delivery systems, like many porous drug delivery systems, depends on the capillary movements of the fluids, and the capillary principles are applied in the pharmaceutical analysis and the laboratory techniques here. The colored water moves through the tissue paper from one glass to the another due to capillary action. This demonstrates the movement of the liquid through narrow spaces by adhesive and the cohesive forces. In conclusion, the experiment successfully demonstrated the capillary action here. The tissue paper acts as a porous medium here, containing a tiny capillary spaces. Water moves through these spaces because of adhesion and cohesion, even against gravity. So capillary action plays a vital role in the pharmaceutical sciences, particularly in the chromatography, drug dissolution, wound care products, and the diagnostic devices. Thank you.